Alright, what's going on, Andrew? Today we're going to show you how to build an infinite dried kelp farm. Here we go. I'm not going to give you the exact numbers in the video because it just doesn't work that way anymore. It just shows infinite. But I will send you a list afterwards. Here we go. Let's jump right in. Obviously, you can use whatever building blocks you want. I like to use classic oak wood planks and a nice smooth stone finish. Alright, first we'll do the dried kelp portion of it. We're going to start ground level. I'll show you this first. The farms that I built in the realm are ground level, but as you can see, you know, early on I was like, I want the chests ground level. In order to do that, that means the farm has to be up off the ground like this, which I'm not a huge fan of. And it's kind of a bitch too to start with the chest instead of starting with where the fucking, you know, crop is. But I do like this cactus setup. So yeah, I mean, you could do it however you want. That, I'll show you that later. That's not a great first version of the fuel farm. It's a pretty terrible first version of it, actually. So yeah, so I'll show you. I decided to go ground level on the realm, and then you just go underground. Obviously, you saw that I have like the stairs and shit underground to get to the chest. Then instead of starting with the chest at ground level, it's obviously up to you however the fuck you want to do it. I'm just gonna show you how to get to the point where it's harvesting on its own. So I'm not gonna make it look good, so the blocks I'm gonna give you, everything is just to get to the point where it's functioning, and then you can fucking handle it from there, I'm sure. Alright, here we go. So this is the way that I like to do it. So I'm just gonna show you pretty much mine on the realm, which is 30 total kelp and 120 bamboo. So starting with the kelp first, I like to use this as my base. I'll put that there, put that there, put that there. So we'll get the base going first. So the middle is where it gets harvested, and then on both sides is going to be 15 and 15. So we'll do, it'll be in the glass. Is this right? It'll be in the glass. Hang on, this isn't right. What am I doing? Middle is where it gets harvested. It'll be in the glass. Okay, it is right. Okay, okay. I missed that one. It was throwing me off. Alright, so there's 15. So we'll just toss this here. What the fuck was I counting? Oh wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, okay, that's 15. Come across, we'll lock it in. Alright, there you go. I don't know why I chose to go with 15. Again, I looked up that shit for how close you have to be for the stuff to be growing, and I'm pretty sure it said like 20 blocks, which didn't really, that seemed too short of a distance for shit to be growing. So obviously you could look up what the exact distance is and then choose how much you want from there. I just went with 15 for whatever fucking reason. 15 on each side, so 30 total. Yeah. So we got the base, the outside. Close this in. Close this in. Alright, there we go. That's our full base. Next. So the kelp will be there. So we'll go with the pistons next. Should be here, right? Yeah, so kelp will be growing here. It'll get up to be too high, and then it'll get up to be 3 high, and then it'll cut off at 2. Alright, yeah. So next we'll put the pistons in. Obviously, on the outer edge. Alright, pistons are in. That's what it'll look like so far. Next we'll put the observers in. Alright, observers are in. So that's what we got so far. Right? That's the base. It's 2 high. Now it's 3 high. Okay. This one is kind of a bitch when you're not playing on creative, because you gotta like keep the paths open to place. Well, you don't have to keep this one open, but you gotta keep like these paths open so that you could get in there to place the water. Obviously it doesn't fucking matter on creative because you can just float right in. Just gonna close this off. How the fuck do I go down? Alright, didn't do anything special, just close the back off. Start closing this off. Again, I'm gonna close this off now. I would recommend not even using these glass on these 2 spots on the outside until you're completely done, and then just destroying, like, use like a dirt block and then destroy it and replace it with the glass. I turned off the fucking weather, but I guess you have to leave and come back, so that's annoying. Alright, so yeah. So I'm just gonna place the glass now since it doesn't fucking matter for me, but it does matter for you. And then you need to place 1 more row here. For the water to go up and over. This part is also kind of a pain because I don't think you can just place the water across the top like this, even though it'll still flow over this to the middle. When the kelp gets harvested, it doesn't flow all the way up and over, so you do actually have to fucking start from the bottom and place water across. Oh wait, I do want that one, but not yet. You do have to start from the bottom and actually place water across every fucking block. I mean, obviously, you don't have to do it across every block. Why is this happening? Is it escaping? Yeah. I hate that they added that the water fucking comes out the back. I mean, I need to put blocks in here anyway, but that wasn't always a thing. So why don't you go ahead and slap blocks? We need to place these blocks eventually anyway. So we'll put blocks behind each of the pistons, and then start to fill in the water. It's probably fucked up now. There we go. I mean, you know how to place water. You know you don't have to do every block. You could do what? If I put one there, I could put the next one 3 blocks away. Something like that, 2 or 3 blocks away. But you do have to go across each one, though, unfortunately. Each level. Or else it doesn't fucking work. Which I don't understand, because what's happening here? Because it still shows that it's flowing up and over this, but it doesn't work unless you place it on each level, each row. Alright, so that's what it'll look like after you place the water. Obviously you do it on this side too. Again, just one of the like 2 things that's a pain when you're not doing it on creative. But once you've got your water placed, that's how it'll look. It obviously takes it over the top there. and then puts it in the middle. And I think should be able to toss something down and see. Should float right up and over. Alright, perfect. That one fucking slanged it, huh? I didn't know that that happens, but okay. So we got that. So next, we'll do the redstone. If you do the kelp first, or anything where you're using the observers, if you do, you know, so in this case it's obviously the kelp. If I did the kelp first and it grew to be 3 high in front of the observer, and then I place the redstone, it's not going to see the one that's already in front of it. Obviously, by the time you're done, they probably won't all be grown, so when the next one grows to 3 high, then it'll see it, but better to just do the kelp first. I mean the redstone first. I'm a jackass. Redstone first. So you literally just put it on all the backs of these. Alright, so there we are. Now, all we have to do, slap the kelp in. Which, this is the part that's going to be a bitch for you. Honestly, mine's like in the mountainside, like half of it, so it's kind of tough for me. I think I placed 1 row of water first, then I placed the kelp, then I finished placing the water. But I would recommend, if it's going to be wide open like this, I would recommend just leaving it open. Yeah, I would recommend just leaving it open, so that you could easily get in here and place this, or you have to leave the front open. So I wouldn't use any of these 3 stacks of glass here until you're actually ready to be like completely done. Alright, kelp's in. I have this shit at 5 times, yeah. So see, there you go, it's already working. I have the settings bumped up. The tick rate is at 5 speed instead of 1, so it's going to be working a lot faster. Figured I'd toss that out there now, but essentially this is it. So this is how you get it to the point where it's auto harvesting. Now all you got to do is auto collect it. Let's see. Do I want to do that first? Yeah, we'll throw that in next. We'll auto collect it next, which honestly, it's kind of a bitch putting the rail system in after you've already got it working, because like I have to put it under here and now there's water, so like I don't want to accidentally, you know, break that shit, but it's not terrible. So we'll just, let's see, and I'm just gonna show you how like an efficient way to collect it. Obviously, again, you could take this and make it however the fuck you want. Now you know how it works. I'm just gonna do a basic, have it collect out in front here. I'm just gonna delete a bunch of this shit, get rid of it, because we're gonna need it. Again, you can do this however you want. It doesn't have to be the same exact as me. So, alright, here's the block that it's landing on, so that has to be the minecart. So if that's the minecart, see, it's a pain on this because, you know, that's the fucking end. Let's see. I don't know why I have the glowstone. I'm probably not going to use it since I'm not going to close it off, but this shit, I don't know about this shit, but bamboo needs a sufficient light source. Alright, so that's the bottom. So that like makes it a pain in the ass. I'm probably, I mean, I pretty much fucked at this point since the ground isn't enough blocks deep. So I'm not gonna actually build the collecting system. I'll just place the rails. I forgot I was in there. I'm just gonna place the rails out to here. So you need a powered rail at the end. And again, this is obviously going to be underneath it. So this is the middle block. So you want it to come past 1. So it's not really an issue in a straight line, and they might have fixed this, but if you're going around a bend, you can't bend power rails. If you're going around a bend, let's say that this was to collect something above it, and you're going around a bend like this, if on the block above the item is chilling in the corner like this, the minecart isn't gonna fucking collect it, which is super annoying. So, I'm gonna show that on the bamboo farm, sort of. Probably not actually, since I can't actually build the fucking system. But I would recommend going 1 pass just to be safe. So you go 1 pass, so this again, it'll be underneath, this will be your last. And then just make sure you have a block there, and then obviously power it. And then on this end, same thing. We'll say, it's gonna come out to here. This is where it'll go into the furnace. It needs to go into the top part, well, a smoker, top part of the smoker. We'll say, and then it's gonna go into a chest. So we'll just say the minecart's gonna end right here. Just make sure you have something to stop it. So then the second you put it on, it'll go back and forth on its own. Put another powered rails every 9 blocks. So count 8 from this one, and then 9, put another. Obviously, as you can see, you do want to close the fucking top off. I'm not gonna, because I'm sure you can figure that out. From here, close it off. I like to do, glass, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. Whatever you want. Just close it off starting here on top of the observers. Obviously, you want to close this off too. You don't want anything that could fucking potentially break this shit. Plus, obviously, it looks like ass just sticking out like that. So yeah, so that's how that'll go. And then I'll show you this one over here. This one was like, I think my first ever one. And I don't know why. I was like, yeah, I'll just manually send the fucking minecarts down like a jackass. And then as you can see, I couldn't actually finish it because of this shit only being like 6 blocks deep. But yeah, essentially the same thing. I did go... Does this look different? Yeah, so you don't have to... I put a block across from the observer on this first one, but as you can see, that's not the case here. I didn't go even with it because you don't have to. So I'm 1 block down from the observer on these ones. And then I decided to throw the bamboo down the sides, which I'm pretty sure... I mean, I don't know. Taking a quick look at this... Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I even have enough bamboo to support how much... No, I definitely don't have enough bamboo to support how much kelp I was making. But I like this design because then on the back I threw this shit in. If you put the slabs like this, then you can't get hurt by the berries, so that's cool. I could have definitely did like an auto collection for this too, but the berries kind of jump all around when you harvest them, so it would have been a pain in the ass to do that. But that was my first design. Alright, so here we go. So this is done. You could figure out the fucking rail system. I'm confident that you can. So next, we'll do the bamboo. I'm just trying to think real quick how I want the bamboo rail system to be. Okay, that'll work. Alright, so we're gonna do... This one's gonna be a little annoying because it's not gonna line up with the middle like this, but whatever. You could obviously adjust this as well. Let's get this out of here. We want to use this. Don't care about the water anymore. We want the pistons. We're not doing anything with this shit because the ground isn't fucking deep enough. I don't need to make it look good for you. I'm sure you could figure it out. We use the glass, we use the redstone, we use all of the rest of this stuff. So, Alright, so I did 6 rows of 20 for 120. Yeah, alright, that checks out. You want it to be, you know, relatively close to this, so honestly we'll just make it as close as possible. It could literally go right here. We'll give it 1 block of cushion just to be safe. So let's see. So it's gonna be off-centered since we're doing duos here. So we did, what did we do? 6 of 20. Alright, I think that's 20. This will actually be glass. Yeah. I just can't fucking count, I think. Alright, 20. Alright, good. Alright, so there we go. We got that. This is where the bamboo will grow. So there's our full base. Again, use whatever fucking blocks you want. Alright, so next we need piston. It grows there to 2 high. Observer 3 high breaks it. Alright, so we do pistons all the way around, just like the kelp. This one's a little bit easier because you don't need, you know, the water to funnel it through. I'm sure you could probably do it in a way like the one, yeah, as you can see you have to close the top off. When I was explaining that you have to put water across all 3 rows for it to take it to here, I think that when I didn't do that and I just placed the water across the top, I can't remember. It either was just, when you broke it, it just floated to the bottom, so you could have just, you know, fucked this middle part and had the minecart collecting it down each side. But I think it was like floating around. Like it wasn't coming to the top and stopping, and it wasn't staying on the bottom. I think it was just kind of floating around. So obviously, that's not good. Alright, here you go. Set up with the pistons. Next, observers. I hate that the observers are fucking backwards from the pistons and the way that you place them. Alright, pistons, set up. Pistons and observers set up. Next, just block this off. Alright, back's blocked off. Next, set up the observers with redstone. Same thing as the kelp. Just slap the redstone across the back like that. This is fucking laggy, dude. I blame this rain that shouldn't be here. Alright, redstone across the back. Observers are set up. Again, don't recommend placing any of this glass until you're completely done. We'll make it look a little good. I don't have to close this in, obviously, for it to work, but it will. Now you just gotta place the bamboo. I hate that it fucking just chooses, like, where on the block it's gonna be placed and not just in the middle. Sometimes that does fuck it, and sometimes the way it lands when it breaks is it's not gonna, like this shit, like it might fall on top of each other and it won't get collected sometimes, so that's annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, so it's 1 block, it grows to 2, grows to 3, gets hit. Okay, so that's good. Again, obviously you want to fill in the top. That's why I had the glowstone, because bamboo does need light. So I built mine in a cave, so I just, you know, dug out like a block and then placed like a torch there all along. But glowstone's obviously good if you just run this across the top. Then obviously that's enough light source. I'm gonna destroy that so you can get a good look. Alright, so that's what one will look like. Again, you could obviously alter the design so however you want. This way makes it really convenient for the minecart collecting it. And it, you know, it doesn't, this is like the least amount of space you could take up without just making one straight line. Which again, I don't know how far away this shit can be for it to work. You could obviously look into that if you want to. So the way that I would do the minecart for this, and I don't know how many smokers you want to do. That will depend on how you set up the rail system. So mine is set up for 4, but I also figured my rail system out after the fact, and I wish I would have figured that out earlier on, because I do want to go back through and like redo pretty much my whole rail system. It's not quite as efficient as it could be, and I think I'm gonna go through and I might go through and change it to make it better. I just didn't want to fucking deal with it after taking so much time to build it. But what I recommend is, so we'll do powered rail, you know, come one past powered rail, and then that's not going to work obviously right now because I'm not actually building it. But what I would do is powered rail coming into this, and then don't build that yet. Powered rail coming into this, and then going, you know, regular rails plus powered rail, however many, come into here, and then I would just, so you could use one minecart and one rail system, instead of having one minecart and two minecarts down each side, which is what I have. Sometimes they hit each other and then it'll slow, like one will keep going normal speed and the other one will like take the hit and it'll start going slow. I have the powered rail set up in a way that even if one does knock into the other and make the other one essentially stop, it'll roll long enough to the point where it'll hit a powered rail and it'll start going again, and that doesn't happen too often, and again it'll make it to another powered rail and it'll be fine. But to avoid that, you could just use one minecart. So it'll start on that end, powered rail, coming down to here, come one past, because we are going to turn, which actually you could make the turn in here. I'm just going to come one past so you could see it. So it'll come here, and then it'll go down this lane. So you could start down there and just go in the line, because if you don't, it'll keep connecting like this, and you don't want that. So start there, powered rail, coming down to here, and then start your turn, and then now you should be able to go straight down, no problem. It shouldn't like fuck up, and the rail shouldn't fuck up, and come straight down to here, where again it'll be another powered rail. Again, these obviously won't connect as long as you do it right. They'll both be going into the block. It'll bounce off this, go all the way down, turn, and come back. So you'll have one minecart collecting both sides, and then both of these I would do a hopper. I'll just slap it in. So I would do both of those blocks as a hopper. That way each time it's hitting off this block, it's collecting into the hopper. And then from there, so I would do that. So you could obviously start, I don't know if doing, like if you started your next one here, if the redstone like fucks up. I don't know if I could do this whole row back to back as redstone and then do the next one over as observers. I don't know if it fucks them up and they don't work correctly. You could look into that if you want. I'm not gonna try to test it. It doesn't really fucking matter. I would just move one block over, and then that's gonna start your next one. So you would do this same exact thing, one block over, and that'll put you at 40. And then, you know, same thing over here. I would just move one block over, start your next one. That'll be 3 rows, and that'll put you at, did I say 40? This is 40. That'll put you at 80. This will put you at, and then this third one will put you at 120. Yeah, this is 40. 2 rows, this is 2 rows of 20, so 40, yeah. So there you go. So that's one. I'm not going to build the rest. Again, that's what I recommend, and what I'll probably change mine to is that just one cart, and then this will be hoppers. So you do that for all three of them. So all three of them are, you know, meeting in this line, getting put into two hoppers, and then from there, it's kind of up to you. I think what I would do, let's see. I think what I would do is, and it's kind of tough since this isn't split, I would almost actually, especially to make it like line up with this, is not have this one connected and have this part moved over one, so that there is a gap in between, so that then what you could do is, just throw this here to kind of imitate it, you could do one minecart that comes underneath this, so you have to have a minecart that collects from this row all of the bamboo and brings it down to here into the side, well, wherever your smoker is, has to come into the side of the smoker. So what I think would be a good idea, and actually I would do this, I would separate this and then it'll line up too. So this row is fine, and then have a gap in the middle, just a wall, you know, whatever, and then move this over one so that they're not connected like this, so that you could have a gap here in the middle. That way, god damn it, that way you have a block that I could hit off of. So what I would do is have one minecart that's, again, it'll be underneath this so that it collects the bamboo, so it'll, whatever, it doesn't matter, I'm not going to show that. So it'll come underneath here, and then it'll be the same exact thing underneath here. It'll be a powered rail hitting a block. Oh, which I guess, you know what? No, it matters, because it's underneath. Yeah, it matters because underneath you need this block still, the gap in between them, so that underneath hits powered rail underneath this, and then, you know, it collects from there, bounces off, comes this way, collects from where this powered rail will, where these two hoppers will be. You could attach the other ones like this, but put a gap in between this one. So this one, they'll be attached. I mean, what? Let's see. We'll just show that. So it'll be attached. So there's the redstone, which means there's this, which means this shit's here, which means it's being collected here. So that's where the next two will be collected. Again, put hoppers under those. So now you have from below this, bounces off this block underneath, collects from that one hopper, collects from these two hoppers, and then again, because of the turn, I would come out one. So if this is also underneath, these don't need to be powered rails, obviously, underneath, but I would come past them and then turn, and then, you know, you could keep this however tight you want. You know, you could just bring it right to here if you want, or whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Essentially, from there, from that point right there, it has to get to the side of wherever your smoker is. Which again, obviously you use hoppers for. I would use chests too. I liked that in your in that failed XP kelp farm that you had. I liked that he used double chests so that you could store more. So go from like hoppers to a double chest, and then from the double chest to, you know, more hoppers into smokers. You know, it all depends on how many smokers you want to have set up. I have 4 set up, so I did use the double chests so that when it collects from here, goes into a double chest, which then goes from the double chest into 2 different hoppers, which then takes it into 2 different smokers. And then again, just do the same thing on this side. So we'll say this is moved over 1. So that's where this redstone would be. So a gap, next redstone, observer and piston. So that's where this would be. So that's where this shit would be. That's where this would be getting collected. So same thing. These will be hoppers underneath. Comes down. Goes up, comes down, hits off this, collects, goes back around, hits off this, collects, and then underneath, obviously, let's say this is underground, do, I don't know. This one's gonna come around. So underground, you know, we'll have this block. So we'll have this is imitating where it's bouncing off this. So still have this go down and around, and then come down to here. It'll bounce off a block. Will that fix? No. Alright, so it'll bounce off this block, and it'll keep going around. So you'd still have one minecart collecting these two rows. Obviously, the turn will just be wider. And then underneath of this, you'll have a minecart, powered rail underneath. You know, a hopper going to the next minecart. Bounce off this. Come collect this shit. Have it turn off this. The powered rails can't turn anyway, so have it turn here. And then, you know, again, you could pull it in tight to here, whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as it makes it to the point where it's coming into the side of the smoker. And that is pretty much it. I'm not going to do an exact count for you. I'm sure you can pretty much guess about how much you need. I didn't even fill everything in. I just showed to get it to the point where it's working. Again, you obviously have to close this in. I don't think this needs I don't know if kelp needs daylight, but I would recommend maybe using I like the glowstone across the top. This one does need daylight, so I would do glowstone, or I didn't have any glowstone when I made mine, so I just used torches. But I'll give you one last good look of the final thing, and all you have to come up with essentially is how you want this shit to collect into the smoker, and then from the smoker collect into chests. You just have to figure that area out. I figured out how you're gonna do the rails. I wish I moved that over one, but yeah. Just take this row of bamboo, will be here, piston observer here, redstone here. Do that gap, that way you could do, instead of one minecart, because that was what I first thought, is one minecart would be coming from the front all the way to here to collect all of the bamboo through here, and then it would come to here, and you would either just be making one big loop with it, or it would bounce off here, go back around, bounce off here, go back around. That's not too efficient. Using two, that'll work out much better. So the first one, just have a gap down the middle, so these will be separated, so that it's collecting on either side of where this is collecting. And then the next two, you don't need a gap, it doesn't fucking matter. You just model it off of this one that you're looking at, where it's collecting with one minecart, and then it just keeps. You could actually, you actually don't even need it. You actually don't even need it to go around back. You could just have it go in a circle. Now that I'm thinking about it, just make that go in a circle. Doesn't have to bounce off this, so this won't matter. Even on this first one, and that'll give you room. You could do 3 hoppers actually, because it'll just be going in a loop, collecting, make that a hopper, and then that'll obviously be a hopper, and then these don't have to be powered rails. These two actually won't be able to be powered rails. God damn it. Yeah, these two won't be able to be powered rails because they're gonna need to turn down that way. So yeah, you actually don't have to have it bounce off. It could just be one continuous loop, and then make all 3 of these blocks hoppers to make it that more efficient with how it's collecting. And then it'll actually be the same, you know, with this one. So these will be the 2 rows of bamboo. You could just make it going in one continuous loop in a circle. I don't know why I didn't think about this to begin with. So those, obviously you can't fucking do it like that, which is so fucking dumb. So you have to do that. I'm not going to go all the way down. This should work. Yeah, okay. So you just do one continuous loop. Just make sure, again, on the turn it doesn't collect everything. So always take the turn one pass. So this could be where it turns. You know, it doesn't have to come to here. The turn could be in here. And it'll still, this will be one straight, it'll be one, you know, straight rail. So it's fine. It'll collect. And then, yeah, this one will actually come out to here. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I could help you out. But yeah, essentially, that's the basic design of what they look like, and then you just have to block off the top using a light source. For the bamboo, I don't know if this needs, how much light this needs. You could look it up. You could just fucking suck it up and use glowstone. Mine's in a cave, so I hope that it doesn't need a light source, because the front part that's not in a cave, about this much of it, from here to there is not in the cave, but from like here to here is in the cave. So now I'm thinking I should go in there and slap some light sources down. I'm gonna look into that. Mine, the back half of mine might not be working presently because it is in darkness. Unless, no, the light from here definitely doesn't reach to the back. So yeah, basically that's what it's gonna look like. Again, shift this one over one, but all the rest build, the other two build exactly like that. And then, yeah, you could just take that and fucking, you know, make however many you want as long as it's in radius of you and working. And that's all. So, good luck. Again, I'll be here. If you have any questions, let me know.